Good morning, everybody. I am your grateful neighborhood addict named Connor, and this is today's daily reflection.
May 13th, the easier, softer way. If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 72. I certainly didn't leap at the opportunity to face who I was, especially when the pains of my drinking days hung over me like a dark cloud. But I soon heard at the meetings about the fellow member who just didn't want to take step 5 and kept coming back to meetings, trembling from the horrors of reliving his past. The easier, softer way is to take these steps to freedom from our fatal disease and to put our faith in the fellowship and our higher power.
Good morning, everybody. So there's a little construction going on at my house at the moment, so I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. I've got some notes for this morning. Don't mind me reading those. I think this is a great reading. It's very succinct, right? But there's a lot there. So yeah, let me just jump right into it. Our best thinking got us here, right? Which is why we need to find a new way to live, because what we were doing was not working. So has anybody ever had like that one person in their life that has a problem, right? And of some kind or another, right? And you know what the solution is. You told them what the solution is. And for whatever reason, they just refuse to take your advice and they just don't do the thing that would solve their problem. And it's exhausting to watch them do that to themselves continually. And it's frustrating to continue to hear about that same problem over and over when you've already given them the solution. I think that's what this reading is talking about for us, and about step 5 and about that fellow that just refuses to take it and keeps coming back to the meeting horrified by their past. And I understand, change is hard. But it only makes sense that it's required to keep us sober and to have a different life than what we had before when we were using or drinking. And part of that change is simply not doing either of those things, right? But the hardest part of sobriety, I think, is sitting with ourselves in our own natural state with no distractions, no escape route, just who we actually are, and not only accepting that, but learning to sit in that state and to continue to exist in that space. And I don't know about you, but I wasn't able to do that before. It was painful. And I used my addiction to run away from that pain. And, how am I going to stop running away from myself if I can't face who I am and manage that pain without drugs? That's going to take change. Otherwise, I'll end up using again. So I want to change, and even though it's not easy, it's better than the path that only leads to jails, institutions, and death, right? And I don't know about anyone else, but for me, I'm only happy when I'm doing something difficult, right? I know that might sound weird, but it's very true for me. It's something I noticed, really in my 30s. But we as human beings were built to carry a load, right? So pick up something, the heaviest thing that you can, and carry it as far as you can, which is, that's the adoption of responsibility, which is where you find the meaning in life. And I don't know about you, but, I want my life to mean something. And feeling like it does makes me happy. And it also makes all the pain and bullshit worth it, and that's purpose. The healthy product of pain, once it's metabolized, and purpose, at least for me, is a force stronger than the pull of my addiction. Thank you so much for listening today and for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I am your grateful neighborhood addict named Connor, and I'm wishing you another day gratefully sober. Until tomorrow.